All right, so welcome. My name is Coach Stacey, and you've joined my meetup group. So welcome to tonight's event, which is focusing on having a winning mindset to achieve your goals. And this is part of my series on confidence building and motivation for those who are looking to grow and develop and just build a better life for yourself, because I know you can do it, and I know that it's in you, and I believe that it can happen for each and every one of us. So tonight we are going to be talking about what's going to help us and what's stopping us and what we can do to try and turn it around, because everything in life that is worth anything is going to take effort. So I'm going to ask you to put in that effort to make the changes that you need in your life to make it become better. So let me just start out by asking, and I'm going to allow people to unmute themselves now. And just wanted to start out by asking, does anyone have any questions or anything that you wanted to hear about right away? Anything, you know, stirring in your mind? Just, you could throw it out there. You can unmute yourself and say it, or you can post it in the chat, whichever you are more comfortable with. Okay, no worries. You may not have those questions yet, but should it come up, feel free to raise a hand or post in the chat and we will get to you. So first of all, when we are thinking about having a winning mindset, so what is a winning mindset? Well, we have to really think about our brain and how it is affecting and driving our lives and our decision makings. So there is one book that I wanted to mention, and I didn't write this book. I don't get anything for promoting it, but I have read it and I think that it has a lot of good things to say. And it's this book called Mindset, and it's by Carol Dweck. If you ever want to listen to it, I believe you can actually hear it for free on YouTube. They have a free audio book of it, or you can always get it on Amazon if you wanted to. So what Carol talked about is that there are two types of mindsets out there, right? Now we want to have a winning mindset, but there's actually two mindsets. And let's talk, and then we're going to see which one the winning mindset would be associated with. So you have either a growth mindset or you have a fixed mindset. So what do we think? So what about the winning mindset? Where is that going to fall? Which one do you think? Where could that be? Well, the winning mindset is going to fall under that growth mindset, right? So what is a growth mindset? Well, growth mindset is where you believe you can you believe in things. You are learning, you are developing, you are changing on a regular basis. You have a belief that when you have an idea, you can achieve it. You can achieve it. And having this mindset and this attitude is very powerful as compared to the fixed mindset. So what do we think the fixed mindset's going to be? Well, the fixed mindset is going to be much more limiting, where you believe you can't change, where you believe you are always going to be in the same situation that you are currently in, where you believe that nothing can get better, where you believe that you can't learn, where you believe that things aren't going to improve for you, right? So you have a fixed belief that the way things are now, that's how things are going to be, right? Now, that doesn't sound like winning to me. We want to win. We want to improve. We want to get better. That's how we win. We don't win by staying in the same place. We don't win if we keep thinking the same way. We need to challenge ourselves. Now, some of you may know that I am a certified teacher. I am certified in the state of New Jersey, and I am certified in a few things, actually. I'm certified in middle school math, middle school language arts, and elementary education. Now, part of my favorite thing to teach is math. And I'll tell you what's most frustrating is trying to get students to try and risk. You're basically being a risk taker where you are going to try and solve the problems as I'm explaining, here's how we're going to solve it. Here's the routine. Here's the formula to use, right? And then you have to get students to not get frustrated. You have to get them to be able to kind of fail, even though they're not really failing. They're really just trying. And that's the whole part of learning. We have to fail. We have to get it wrong before we can get it right. And that's what I've learned. But sometimes we stay stuck. We stay in the same the same place where we're not learning and growing. But I try to get students, and I try to break them of these habits at a young age, and try and get them to say, okay, it's okay to try and fail and make a mistake, as long as you learn from that mistake, right? So let me ask you, are you growing? Are you trying? Or are you just afraid to take risks? Because we've got that nasty 4-letter word that nobody likes, and that tends to stop us in life. And the more we don't deal with it, the worse it becomes for us. Do we know what I'm talking about? Come on. What's that nasty 4-letter word? You guys know what it is.
Fear?
That's it. That nasty fear. Fear is what is ruining so many lives. Now, the other thing that we go through where it just can make things so difficult. The other, what's that nasty 6-letter word that we have to deal with, that when we hear it, we're like, no, there's a nasty 6-letter word. What is it? I've already said it. Who knows? It starts with a C. Change. Oh no, we have to change? What do you mean I have to change? But this is how I am. No, this may be who you are now, but you are in control of who you become. You do not have to stay the way you are. If you believe you have to stay the way you are, then you have this thing called a fixed mindset. You do not have to keep that fixed mindset, nor do you have to stay the way you are. If you are staying the way you are choosing that. That is not because you have to be that way. You are choosing it. You are choosing not to win. You are choosing to stay in the same place. You are choosing to not put in the effort in yourself. It is your choice. You are in control of you. So let me ask you, do you want to keep that fixed mindset? Do you want to stay out of control and have fear and change paralyze you? Because here's the thing, most people do. So many people, well, maybe not most people, but so many people do. And, here's another thing. And I was listening to some people have a discussion the other day, and they were talking about this. Sometimes we have ideas and we get, fired up about it. And then we make kind of a little mistakey poo. That's what I call them. It's a mistakey poo. We tell our ideas to other people we trust, relatives, spouses, friends, siblings, whatever. And you know what they do to us? And they inadvertently do this. And I'd like to caution people to try not to do this to people, but they can just go and smush, 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 smush on our ideas. Don't you hate that? And it's so wrong when people do that, and they do it, be like, oh, well, you can't do that. Or, oh, guess what? You need this, that, and the other thing to do it. Yeah. So I need this, that, and the other thing. Well, I'm just going to get it. So we need to be careful when we develop an idea or a thought in how we share it with others, because there's this other nasty thing that happens in life to so many people, and I believe that it can be the root cause of so many problems that people have. And it's a nasty, I'm counting the letters, 8-letter word. Does anybody know what it is? It starts with a J. It's this nasty word, and it's called jealousy. Jealousy is probably, what causes so many problems. When someone sees somebody else get excited about an idea or do something that they think they can't do, people get jealous. And we can even recognize it. And you can say to somebody, oh, are you jealous of me? And they're going to deny it. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to deny it. They're never going to say, oh, yes, I'm jealous. Some people might. We'll say there's always going to be some kind of an exception. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're probably going to deny it. So you have to recognize that this is happening. So I want you to create ideas. I want you to come up with stuff. I know that I have some ideas. I've shared them with people who I feel can handle hearing my ideas too, and that aren't going to poo-poo on my ideas or stomp and smash them and try to give me reasons why I shouldn't do it. Well, guess what? No, I am going to do it anyway, right? I am going to do it my way. Just quote Frank Sinatra. I think quoting Frank Sinatra, he's got his song My Way. So because we can get these ideas that are put in our hearts, that come into our spirits, and we don't need to not do it just because somebody else may not agree, or somebody points out all the things you have to do to achieve it. That should not matter. We can still achieve whether or not there's a bunch of steps or not. Now, here's something else. It's effort. We have to put effort into our lives in order to get us to win and achieve. Now, if you're saying, Stacy, I'm not talented. Well, guess what? You can become talented. So here's how. There are endless training programs right now on YouTube, and there's other websites such as training sites like Udemy and Coursera, and which have very inexpensive trainings. And if you don't know what you're good at, I suggest starting to try. Now, let's get rid of that defeatist, that fear that's in us, and that, that fear of change. We also hear that change word. Nobody wants to change. And I realized that. But to win, we must change. We must constantly be improving. We must constantly be trying. Whether we fail or not, fail or win, does not matter. You've got to try. If you're not, you're never going to win. That's just the truth. So when we look at, you could go to this YouTube, right? Start searching for what you're interested in, for things that maybe ideas that come to you. And you don't get better at anything until you put in effort and you learn and you read and you gain the knowledge and you practice. That's the other thing when I teach math and I try to get my students, I say, I compare it to being a ball player. I'm like, you don't hit home runs until you start practicing. You don't make those baskets until you start practicing, and you do it over and over and over again. How many times do you have to miss the basket before you get it in? I mean, people can do that, who knows how many times. So I try to get the students to keep trying, and learning and seeing what you did wrong. And, you slowly have to kind of like chip away to then improve your skills. So don't think that you can't be good at something, be like, oh, well, I'm not good at that. I was never good at that in school. So what? Just because you weren't good in school, maybe you didn't have the right teacher. The teacher can always make the difference. Maybe your brain wasn't ready to take it in. This happens to a lot of people. You may not have been at the time where you're ready to take it in. Don't compare yourself as an adult to how you were as a child. Just because you weren't good at it then doesn't mean you can't be good at it now. Or you may have some kind of interest that you were good at and you want to re-explore it. Go for it, my friend. Give it a try. You can sit there and look at these videos like I was looking at. You can learn programming, psychology, machine learning. You can learn technical skills like for free. Okay, why not start looking at it? Start building what you have um, inside of you. You know, something that I've done is I've worked to narrow things down by trying some things, and I look at it and I'm like, I start trying to learn about it, and then I decide, is this right for me? Yes or no? I'll tell you something that I think is missing from a lot of schools is giving students a chance to try different things. People will say, oh, well, what are you interested in? Well, how can I know what I'm interested in until I try it? And I just think that there should be more chances for students to, or young people, just starting out. And this should be for older people too. But in school, you should be able to try, and it should be more of a safe space to get it wrong and to do more exploring and not be so much concerned about a grade. You should just be trying kind of for trying sake. And I know that's something else that I will do for my students, is I try to also get them past, public speaking fears. So I'll let students come up and lead the class and talk and go over problems so that to try and get them through that. And I don't grade them or anything. I let them do it completely voluntarily. And um I don't want that to inhibit them from trying, where they have to worry that they're being graded, or if they don't do it this way, or if they don't do a good job, and then they stop, right? But usually I'll just start out having one student do it. And then over time, as soon as they see somebody doing it, when they find out they're not graded, they all want to try it. They all want to try it, and it's great. So let's see. Letitia has something to say. Your therapist said you didn't realize something because he wasn't right. And that's it. We all assume, we all assume that we're all just ready to take in information. And we have to remember, when you're in school, it's like you're being taught in a general way. They're teaching to a generalization. And what I mean by that is, you're making assumptions that people at certain levels can take in certain information. And that's true, but sometimes our brains, our minds are just developing at different rates, and things just may not interest us at the time. We may be thinking about other things that haven't come to us, which could be why um why we're not into it yet. So I know that there have been times, even with math, and I was in the classroom with another teacher, and there was a concept that I wasn't even sure about. I knew it, but I didn't fully understand it. And then she explained it, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. It's like 34 years old, and I was finally getting this one eighth grade concept that I hadn't fully um, conceptualized or thought about before. So we can be taking in things at all different times. There's times where when I was in college, well, I didn't realize I wanted to be a teacher then, or I didn't realize that that would be good for me. It took a few years. Um, we think that we're not mastering something. There's times where I didn't think that I'd want to coach or counsel people or help people. But now in my life, I feel I can do that. But I wasn't ready to take it in at different times. I wasn't ready to take it in any sooner. I wasn't at the level set of thinking in my mind where I felt that I could do that successfully. Now, should I have let that fear or worry bother me as a younger person? I shouldn't have, but I did. I did. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do anything with if you practice and you learn and you study, you can do it. You can win, you can achieve. You need to not let the fear bother you, and you need to know that change is okay, and you you are not stuck in who you are. You're always who you are on the inside, but your habits, your levels of knowledge, that can change. That is not fixed. We get ourselves thinking, well, this is how I am. This is how I'm always going to be. Okay, then you won't ever win. Then you won't win. You choose how you are. You choose it. You are not stuck in a fixed mindset. You choose what you want to do. You choose what you learn. And if you're not sure, there's also some great inventory, like career tests and different things online that you can look for that might help point you in the right direction. But I would strongly suggest starting to try if you haven't done so already. So are there any other questions, feedback? Anyone have anything that I could try to advise on or try and help you resolve? Feel free to unmute yourself and shout it out or type it in the chat, whichever you feel more comfortable with. No grading here, I promise. Okay. Well, that's all right. You can always email me on Meetup, And I am going to close tonight's session for now. And I thank you all for coming. I hope you found this useful. And you're welcome, Tracy. And I look forward to seeing you all at the next one. Oh, you're welcome, Letitia. Have a great night, everybody. Goodbye.
Great evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.